guys, and welcome to Butterfly Tea Time. I hope you have your tea and your coffee ready. Today, I'm super excited to bring to you all the works of this amazing woman that I'm happy to call a friend, Autumn Austin. Welcome, Autumn.
Well, thank you for having me, Felicia. Hey, guys.
Hey, Autumn.
So Autumn is not only the executive director of Colors of Lupus Nevada, but she's also the president and founder of Gamma Pi Rho Lupus sorority.
Incorporated.
Incorporated. So Autumn, I just wanted to take this time in May to just really honor all of the work and highlight all that you do for the lupus community. I know that you've done a lot for me in my journey through trying to provide skincare for women going and men now. Thank you, Emmett, the Wolf Mom, for people just going through the lupus rash, the mallow rash, the butterfly rash, or the wolf bite. Autumn actually gave me different models to help me with this journey. She's just doing so many amazing things in the lupus community, and we're going into her walk, Colors of Lupus Nevada, that she has annually here in Las Vegas every single May, and we just wanted to really highlight all the things she's doing for lupus awareness.
Well, I appreciate that.
So Autumn, everyone is always seeing you on social media. You're always the first person when people are diagnosed to come to them and provide them with resources and to just kind of help them navigate this whole thing. But I think that there's a lot of viewers and people that maybe don't know your story with lupus. When did you first get diagnosed?
So Santa was nice enough to bring me lupus for Christmas. I was actually diagnosed on Christmas Eve of 2012 officially. I had been going through the diagnosis process for 3 years, but officially I was diagnosed December 24th, 2012.
2012. And so when you got diagnosed with lupus, what were the things that you were going through with your health that you were really noticing that there was something not right with you?
So it's funny, but it's not. I was originally at first, I was having what they call syncopal episodes. Syncopal episodes are instances where you just pass out and for no reason. And so I was just passing out for no reason. And I happened to be, the first time it happened to me, I happened to be at a bar with my now husband and some of our friends, and I just missed I missed the chair, and I passed out. And so I just thought I was drunk, really. And then it started happening more frequently at work, at home. And luckily, I didn't have any episodes when I was driving, but at work and at home, I became a running joke at work, where if you saw the ambulance outside, they're like, "Oh, she's here for Autumn." They're here for Autumn, and 90% of the time they were there for me. And I worked at a casino, and they used to be at the back door. So I started having these syncopal episodes. Got admitted into the hospital about after the third time that I had a spell. And my doctor's like, "I just want you to run the full gamut on her. I need to know what's going on." And so they tested me for lupus. I tested positive for lupus, but instead of her sending me to a rheumatologist, she sent me to a neurologist for an official diagnosis. And I think it was because I was having the syncopal episodes, but that wasn't the right doctor to diagnose me. I was out of work for 3 months. I was going to what they call balance therapy, where they try to get your equilibrium back in order. So I was in there with people, older people, more seasoned people, I guess I should say, that lost their hearing and had hearing aids. So they were in balance therapy, and I was going to balance therapy 3 times a week. And then they came back and said, after my neurology visit, they came back and said, "You don't have lupus." I was kind of disappointed because at that point I didn't know what was wrong with me. I mean, I'm going through all these things and they can't give me any answers. So I honestly said, I'm not going to the doctors anymore. And this was in 2009. And then I felt better for a little while, and then in 2000, the beginning of 2012, I started having issues, and I lost my hair. I honestly thought that I was allergic to hair glue. You know, when you weave your hair, you put glue in your hair. I thought I was allergic to it, and then all my hair started falling out. I started having the syncopal episodes again. I started having the headaches, um, the chest pain with pleurisy and pericarditis. And so my new doctor was like, let's test it again. Let's see if you have it. And sure as shit, it came back and I was positive, and that was in September of 2012. And it took me 3 months to get into the rheumatologist's office, and in December of 2012, he officially diagnosed me with lupus.
Wow.
Wow. So your whole journey leading up to being diagnosed was about 3 years.
It was 3 years, 3 years and 2 months exactly.
Wow. And now in the U.S., our average time to be diagnosed with lupus is about 6 years. It's quite a journey to get
Yeah,
to the bottom.
I tell everybody that my journey and my diagnosis process was pretty quick compared
Yeah.
to everybody else's. You know, it usually takes it about 5 years. You know, some people are telling me that it's taken 7 years for them to get diagnosed, but the average is about it's about 5 years. If you're not quote unquote real sick.
And you know what? You said it right there, Autumn. When people, I mean, you passing out, ambulance coming to get you, that's at a severe level of something is wrong. You know, something is wrong with people where did I lose you guys? Or are you guys still with me?
No, we're still here.
We're sitting here.
Okay, sorry. So I just, you know, when people complain about a lot of these symptoms that lupus gives, it mimics very minor, you know, arthritis, you know, fibromyalgia. So there's so much to say it's lupus. But when you get really severe organ failures, passing out, consistent problems off and on, the doctors will pay attention. Therefore, hopefully speeds up the diagnosis on there. A lot of these people that had symptoms for years prior to their diagnosis, yeah, they were some of the basic ones, the joint pains. Nobody jumps to the conclusion, oh, a joint pain, you have an autoimmune disease. No, they don't.
Right.
But
You
once
know,
they
you got sores in your mouth, you have an autoimmune. They don't look at
right,
the small things. It's the big things that count. But also not only your symptoms, and I don't mean to interrupt you, and I'm
no,
sorry.
you're
Not
good.
not only your symptoms, but they gotta look at your blood work. And sometimes your blood work doesn't match your symptoms, and your symptoms don't match your blood work. You know, the crazy thing is when I started the journey, I had more severe symptoms than I did when they finally gave me the diagnosis. When
Right,
they gave me the
right.
diagnosis, I just, I had hair loss and I had sores in my mouth, and I had joint pain, but I wasn't passing out as much as I was when I first started the journey. And when I
Right.
first started the journey, they couldn't give me the diagnosis because my blood work at the time didn't match what I was going through.
Yeah.
So
And
that's why I
it's
tell
unfortunate
everybody,
too.
yeah, I tell everybody, you have to write down your symptoms. You have to write down
Mhm.
everything that you're going through, because if you don't, and you don't come into the doctor's office with a book
Right.
going over your symptoms, and they're just looking at your blood work, they're not going to take you serious.
No.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's where a lot of us believe that the doctors are not on our side. But there's a lot that we have to do with that as well. We have to make sure, like you said, come there prepared. Let the doctors know everything that's going on, and also refuse to leave there with an answer. That's when you got to advocate for yourself. It's just the only way to do it.
I tell everybody, you got to be actively involved in your own healthcare. At first
Right.
I wasn't actively involved in my own healthcare, because when I got diagnosed at first, the doctor that diagnosed me, all he did was he was on the computer. He couldn't even tell you what I look like. He treats all lupus patients as they are the same. So they get hydroxychloroquine, they get Zoloft, because he says, quote
Prednisone.
unquote, every lupus patient has anxiety and depression. They get prednisone, and he gave me 35 milligrams of prednisone to take a day. I gained 60 pounds in 6 months. And where I went wrong was I just took the medicine because the doctor told me to take it. So I took the prednisone, I took the hydroxychloroquine, I took the Zoloft. The Zoloft made me hallucinate. I woke up one day thinking I was covered in spiders. So I just did it because the doctor told me to.
Right.
And you can't just do things because the doctor told you to. You have to do your own research. You have to make sure you got a diagnosis. You have to make sure that you are researching the medication, that you really absolutely need to take that medication, because I didn't need to take Zoloft. I didn't have, bouts of depression or anxiety. So I didn't need to take that medication. But it took me being covered in spiders. It took some other things to make me realize I have to be my own advocate. I have to be actively involved in my health care and understand why I'm taking these 22 medications.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Wow. It's kind of crazy how it all sums up to that, but it does. And what we know now today is why people like us try to advocate, people newly diagnosed, because compared to what they was back in the day was nothing compared to resources now. And like Autumn said, when your doctor is telling you to do these things, it's okay to take all this information down, but yeah, do your homework and see if it's also best for you, and then go ahead and do it as well. There's a lot of things that I personally did not do in my journey because I think that they were just categorizing me as somebody with lupus, but this is a man this time, but this works for women, so let's just give them this. Yeah, there was a lot of meds that I just kind of pushed to the side and did not take because of that until I was with the right rheumatologist. So definitely got to do your homework. Thank you, Autumn.
You definitely have to do your. I not only run Colors of Lupus and founded Gamma Pi Rho, but I also have a regular 9 to 5 job. And my regular 9 to 5 job is I work in clinical research. And at one point, I was just working in clinical research for autoimmune illnesses, so lupus. But I recently, in October, got a new job. So I work in clinical research for a bunch of different illnesses, not just lupus. I just got a lupus trial, but I do work a regular 9 to 5 job. And so previously, when I was working at the rheumatologist's office, I was helping a young lady get a diagnosis. She was seeing another rheumatologist, and she said, he has me just taking this Plaquenil. And I'm like, okay, did he give you a lupus diagnosis? And she said, no, I don't have a lupus diagnosis, but he gave me this hydroxychloroquine, this Plaquenil. And I said, well, why would you take something that you don't have a diagnosis for? That's my first question. Why would you take a pill and you don't know what you're taking it for? So before you put that pill in your mouth, you need to ask him outright, do I have lupus? And if he tells you no, then what am I taking this pill for?
Right.
You got to ask questions, because you just don't pop pills because the doctor said so. And I had to learn it the hard way, but I preach it now. Do not take a medication until you know what you're taking it for.
Yeah. And so many
That is so
times we
true.
just blindly trust our doctors. And I think that when people are first going through any autoimmune, they're going to just assume that the doctor knows what they're doing, and medicine is a practice.
Right.
It is. And everybody has to be prepared that the doctors will prescribe you medication, but it's still up to you to do the homework to find out if the doctor is on the right track of what's going on with you. Even though if you're not 100%, there's always options to get second opinions and other things like that. I was up to 30 a day, and a lot of it I eliminated by realizing I don't need that pill because I can do this instead. I don't need that pill. There are different alternatives, and there are some pills that you have no choice to take, but at the same time, you do have to make sure you find that good doctor, establish that relationship, and then you'll kind of have a better idea of whether you're going to go forward with all their recommendations or not. Not saying to ever ignore it. Please don't take that wrong. Not saying to ignore your doctors. Listen to your doctor, but do your own homework as well.
And ask questions. You got to ask questions. You have to, when you're actively involved in your own healthcare, you also have to make that doctor engage in whatever it is you need to have him answer. You know, ask a question and make him answer it.
Yes.
um Not only like, why am I going through this, what is lupus, why am I taking this pill. You have to make them engage, so you don't have that 2 minute doctor's visit. You know how they come in and they're in there for 2 minutes and then they leave.
Write
No,
down
you
and then
got to
they
make
gone.
them engage in conversation with you, so they're in there for 5 to 10 minutes.
Yes. Yes. Totally agree.
Yeah.
And another thing, if I could say this, Autumn, in your prior position, again, I'm gonna say it again. Thank you so much for the help that I reached out to Autumn, but about a year, maybe a year and a half ago or so,
Mm-hmm.
about symptoms that my daughter was having. And being that, with me with lupus, it was, I hope she don't have it, I hope she don't. And so Autumn did a good workup on her and got her confident to face some of the things that she ended up facing later, because she's already went through some of these steps with Autumn. So Autumn, again, thank you for that. And Cheyenne reminds me to this day how she really appreciated that.
I hope, is she coming to the walk or no?
Unfortunately, her job has an event the same day, so she cannot.
Well, you let her know that she's still on my heart and my mind. I'm trying to get her,
Aw.
and I need your help with this, Emmett. I'm trying to get her and Chanel to come on over to the purple side and play some Gamma Pi Rho.
Join Gamma Pi Rho.
Yes, yes, yes. I
Which
encourage
is
everybody
this
being part of the
summer.
organization and loving the things that are involved. I mean, this sorority group, I see that if I was a female, there was so many things to get involved in, but I can't do some of the stuff that the women be doing. I'll let y'all have that. But when y'all do have it for the guys, I am here 100% to support, even if it's getting on the meetings, just to show up and support. I'm definitely there for you guys.
You know, we try not to push having a fraternity for males because you guys got the male lupus warriors or whatever. But know that all the male lupus warriors, you and Dion, are forever our brothers, no matter what. And that's why you're on the board, because you are our brother, no matter what.
And I appreciate that. And I'm
And
a proud member.
and he I tell you, he is such a trooper, Chanel. So this was prior to you, but our first Founders Day, um, he came out to Las Vegas, and when I tell you he hung out with all the women, he hung out with all the women, and we had a great time. We had an
Yes.
absolute great time.
Well, it was actually more than hanging out. I was officially their photographer, their bag carrier, their, hold on, people, they're crossing the street. I was that guy.
He was our bodyguard, man.
But it was an honor to meet a lot of the sorority from the different parts of the country, to see them connect. And again, as much as we're on social media now, online, to for a lot of us to connect in person, I love it, because it's like you don't skip a beat of, it's not we just met for the first time. Nah, it's like, yo, sis, we just talked yesterday, but we meeting today, but there's no difference. The love is still there, and it's all good. It's all good.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
So
Autumn, as long as I've known you, you've always been involved with Colors of Lupus. But I'm just curious, like, how did you find Colors of Lupus?
So, believe it or not, I used to work at Hooters. So I used to work at Hooters Casino Hotel. I was in management at Hooters Casino Hotel for 9 years, and they eliminated my position in August of 20.
oh, did we lose her?
Um, they eliminated my
There you go.
position in August of 2014. And so, I walked away with a nice severance package. And I was like, I told my husband, I can't find a lupus organization. I want to do all things lupus. And so that's what I was focusing on. I was just going to do all things lupus. So I happened to be in a clinical research study for lupus. And when you're in a clinical research study, you are with those people for, anywhere
Yes.
from an hour to 3 hours, 1 to 2 times a month. And so you get to know each other. And we had been around each other for a year and a half. And so the study that I was in, it didn't get passed by the FDA. So I had to process out of the study. It's called an early termination visit. So I had to process out of the study, and they ask you quality of life questions like, are you working? What are you doing? Are you working full time? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And so I told my ex-boss that I'm not working. And he was like, he knew my background. He knew that I had um, a dual master's degree in business management and administration with the emphasis on marketing. So he asked me, he said, do you want to come work for me? I need a recruitment person. And so I was like, absolutely. So I I told him I wanted to do all things lupus. And he was like, well, this is your start. And then I'll introduce you to so-and-so who runs Colors of Lupus Nevada. And I'm like, there's a lupus organization here in Las Vegas. And he's like, yeah, it's called Colors of Lupus. So he introduced me to the former executive director of Colors of Lupus. And this was in October of 2014. I did some work with her, and her mom, her mom had developed Alzheimer's or dementia, but she lived in Asia. And so she had to go back home to take care of her mom. And so she was like, I'm giving you this, basically.
Wow.
Do you want it? And so I always tell people I got 2 jobs in one day, because I got the job with the research company, and then I also got the eventually got the executive director job with Colors of Lupus Nevada. And so Colors of Lupus has been mine ever since. So since November 2015,
Wow.
it's been mine.
That's so awesome. And you're doing so many amazing things with it. I really love that you've branched out and created this whole sorority, and you can tell the girls that are involved in this, and also Emmett and males to come, and also people without lupus are going to be able to join in the next few years, are just so passionate about being a part of what you're doing throughout the globe. So
I'm trying.
what made you think of that idea? Like, I want to create a sorority for people to unite throughout the globe with lupus, to have that sense of belonging, family, camaraderie, and also creating a bigger change through more hands involved.
So Gamma Pi Rho is not the first lupus sorority in the United States. There is another sorority that was founded before us. I was a member of that sorority. I will just say I didn't like how the sorority ran. So I went back and I'm like, you know what? This is how I would do it. And so I wanted to be a part of a sorority since I was in high school. And I didn't go to college right away. So I didn't, join what we call the Divine Nine, which is 9 African American based sororities and fraternities that are throughout the United States. And so I didn't have that opportunity. So when I had the bad taste in my mouth about the other sorority, and I went to my husband and I'm like, I would do it like this and I would do it like that. And he was like, well, do it. And so I literally came up with all the concepts, came up with, some of the rules, came up with, the colors and our motto and all that in 24 hours. And
Wow.
I did have help from one of my sorority sisters and one of the other founders. Her name is Tamika Marshall. And so she did help me establish the foundation. And then I went and I chose 6 other women that are also founders with me. And then they helped me finish the foundation. They helped me finish writing the rules and regulations. And then I went to Emmett and Terrell, who is a member of Colors of Lupus Nevada, and also a male lupus warrior, because he fights daily. Like, he just had surgery last week and probably is going to try to be at the walk on Saturday. But I went to Emmett and I went to Terrell and I went to Miss Linda, and I'm like, I need a board of directors. And so they graciously accepted. I started off, I think, with 5 and then added 2 more. So I have a board of 7 because it has to be a odd number. But between them and the members of the sorority, we have been able to, make this thing go and go full speed. And we were founded in September of 2020, and we will have our 3rd annual Founders Day in September of 2023. So it's a great experience to be involved in the organization. It's a great experience to be one of the founding members of the organization, because we try to do so much and we're spread out throughout the United States. So you're talking about from Las Vegas to North Carolina to the DMV area. We are a little bit of everywhere.
That is so amazing. And what kind of things have you been doing? I know I've seen a few different things you guys have done this year.
We try, so Colors of Lupus and Gamma Pi Rho do a lot of collaboration things, because I'm attached to both. But what we try to do is we try to make sure that we do one educational seminar via Zoom a month. Sometimes it has a theme. So we've done Love and Lupus, and Emmett has been so gracious to host that with one of our founders, LaShawn Garola. We do different things where we try to involve the community, not just the people that are members of the sorority. So we might do a game night, or we might do painting or something via Zoom. We just did a Mother's Day tea, and invited, the world to come, and not just the members of the sorority. So we do a couple different little things. We did a bowl-a-thon. We try to do fundraisers. We do Founders Day, where we get together once a year, and then with Founders Day, we try to do something educational, or we do a community event. We also do, community give backs. Like we wouldn't be here if we didn't have the love and support from the community. So we try to do things for Thanksgiving and for Christmas and for back to school.
So amazing. And Autumn has a walk, you guys, if you're in the Las Vegas area. She's going to be orchestrating this entire walk. It's called
Walking the World Purple.
Walking the World Purple. So this is going to be on May 20th, and it's going to be held from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. because she had everyone going through autoimmune in mind, to where there is that sun sensitivity, amazing food trucks, vendors, lots of family fun. So we hope that if you guys are in the area, you can register and sign up. And here's the information to do that: to donate, to get involved with Gamma Pi Rho, to be a part of a bigger community, bigger than yourself, and to possibly come and help with this walk and paint the purple throughout the world. And Autumn's doing so many amazing things. We could do a whole hour show on this right now.
Absolutely.
I'm trying. I have to tell you guys, it has been rough. And I will say this last year has been the roughest for me. And I'm sure that Emmett can attest to this, because he's been going through it for the last year as well. This has been the sickest I've been and the longest I've been sick. Last year at the walk, I could barely walk. I was on a cane. My face was huge. I literally went to the hospital 3 days after the walk and was admitted for a week. And every one of my systems was causing me problems, shutting down. And I tell everybody, you got to understand that lupus affects everything in your body. Things that you don't know that even exist, it affects. It can cause all kinds of inflammation. My throat closed up. The tissue around my heart was so bad, it was suffocating my heart. My kidneys were swollen, and I was spilling protein, and so I had to have a biopsy. And then they came back and said, "Oh, your stage 2 chronic kidney disease that you've been maintaining for the last 4 years, Oh, it's stage 3 now, and so it's been rough. I was on oxygen. I was using a walker, and I'm no longer doing that. So that is a good testament for me because I'm not using those things. I can walk up the stairs. It takes me a little bit of time, but um, I can walk up the stairs without somebody being behind me, making sure that I'm not falling. I don't have to use my oxygen machine. It's a great thing. I still have a couple little issues going on, but I'm hoping that this year's walk is nothing like last year's walk as far as my um my commitment and my interaction with people. If it wasn't for my husband, that walk would not have gone off last year. I could tell you that. I
Yes.
sat down and did nothing.
I was
And you
there,
deserve it
and
too.
the way that you still pulled everything off, you did it well. So again, that's how warriors show up. No matter what we go through, we're always there when it counts and when they need us to be there. So I'm definitely going to be there. Me and Chanel, we have our shirts that we are going to be wearing. We have a team. Our
Hmm.
proceeds are going to the Colors of Lupus Nevada, and so we are looking forward to it.
Yes.
I
I will be
appreciate that.
there
I'm
with
looking forward to
butterfly.
you guys being here. I really am
Yes.
looking forward to you guys being here. It was crazy because I'll just say this, Emmett, my husband makes sure that he asks about you probably at least once a week.
Man.
Um, and that's just from the conversation. Like he literally met you at the walk last year. And that's just from the conversation that you guys had. And it might have been a 5-minute conversation, but however long that conversation is, it makes him ask about you and refer to you as brother. So I just wanted to
Man.
share that with you because he asks about you all the time.
And you give my love to your husband and tell him thank you. Tell him thank you so much. I'm still hanging in there. We still in this fight, so we're gonna make it happen. One of the biggest things that I'm gonna be looking to see this weekend is not just the fact of seeing everybody from Vegas, but my mom and dad are coming out. My dad is gonna push my mom in the wheelchair around that track for Lupus in support of all of us. So when they told me they were doing that, it's kind of like, wow, you know, I get a lot of support, as we all know, from all over the world, but when it's within your circle, it's like it's the best feeling ever, the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
It's different. My mom suffers from severe osteoarthritis. She walks with a cane.
Hmm.
And so it's so crazy. My best friend did one lap around the track last year, and she was like, I'm tired and I can't do another. And my mom looked at her and she said, if I can do two laps, you can do 2 laps. So get out here and do
Go
two
ahead,
laps.
mom.
And it just made me feel good because my mom is doing those laps with a cane.
Yep, I'll be with her with my cane, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do
Right, right.
it.
I tried to at least do one lap, and last year was the first year in 7 years, and this is the 8th year. But last year was the first year in 7 years I couldn't make that first lap around the track with everybody, and I was heartbroken.
But your
Well,
spirit was there, and everybody felt it, so that's what
your
mattered.
work was there, still impacting people.
Yes, yeah, that's what mattered.
So we have the website down here if you guys want to get behind Autumn's mission to spread global lupus awareness in Nevada this year. It will be May 20th. If you want to sign up for Gamma Pi Rho and have a bigger family while you're going through this lupus journey and sisters, we have the website there. Me, Emmett, and GI Shane will all have booths out there. We hope that you guys can sign up, come support, or just simply get behind this cause and donate. So where can we find you, Autumn, if people want to follow you, if they want to find you, if they want to reach out to you?
That's funny because somebody asked me, I was on a radio show earlier this
Hmm.
morning, and I just realized how many different social media outlets I have because I have all these businesses. So
Yeah.
you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Autumn Austin. Um, you can also find me on Facebook under Colors of Lupus Nevada. Um, IG is a little weird. It's C.O.L.N. And that's Colors of Lupus's Instagram. And then for Gamma Pi Rho Lupus Sorority Incorporated. My tongue got tied a little there. You can find us on social media on Facebook under Gamma Pi Rho Lupus Sorority Incorporated on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, perfect. Well, you have a lot of comments here saying, Autumn, you're doing a phenomenal job. Autumn, thank you for everything that you're doing in this community. Someone wrote, kudos to Autumn. You're impacting a lot of lives and you're helping a lot of people through your experience and what you've gone through, and you're a visionary. So I hope that you guys can get behind this walk. We'll all be featured on the 20th. And you know where to find Autumn now. And we just wanted to highlight you for May awareness. For it's also mental health. So we're looking at that as well.
It is, and I just
help you with your mental health
it goes hand in hand, Felicia. It really does. When you have to use a cane, or you have to be on dialysis, or your skin changes, or your hair falls out, whatever the case may be, you have gone through some changes and it messes with your mental. It causes depression. It causes anxiety. We have known people that have actually committed suicide because they can't deal with the diagnosis. So I tell everybody, it's just, it is fate that May is Lupus Awareness Month. May is also a mental health awareness month. And we go hand in hand because it happens. It really, really happens.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you, and hats off to you, Autumn, and all the butterflies and rainbows coming your direction. And we hope that you guys can just get involved. No one wants to be alone in this journey, and you have a whole family of support here. All you have to do is reach out.
That's right.
You absolutely do.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys for joining, and until next time, fly free.
I'll see you guys Saturday.
See you Saturday. Bye. Stay on.